Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, 30 electric pink and blue public buses arrived on our shores last spring, marking an historic achievement for Bermuda in the protection of the natural resources from climate change and environmental issues. Launching the transition from fossil fuel to electric buses with the ambitious conversion of 1/3 of the public fleet of buses has propelled the government towards a goal of operating an entire fleet of electric public buses by 2030. You may recall that in preparation for this bold move towards energy independence, the Bermuda government partnered with Rocky Mountain Institute, RMI, to research and pioneer the path to a sustainable future in transportation. It was anticipated that we would see remarkable benefits to going electric, and RMI remains a valuable resource for monitoring our progress and a keen eye on performance. I'm quite pleased to provide you with an update on the state of the new electric buses. Mr. Speaker, for 9 months we have seen the new electric buses glide from some cities in Georgia with but a whisper. Passengers have enjoyed the smooth ride, comfortable air conditioning, sufficiently space seating, convenient USB charging on each row, reduced noise pollution, and more. Those traveling behind and near the electric buses have experienced no toxic fumes, no ambient sound, less intrusion of space, and more. These casual observations are commendable, but I wish to inform you of the exceeding benefits that the data has confirmed. Mr. Speaker, operating the electric buses has caused the government to realize a 20% savings in fuel costs, which translates to upwards of $15,000 a month. In the past 9 months, the government has saved an estimate $135,000 in fuel costs. I repeat again, has saved $135,000 in fuel costs, enough to fund a brand new electric bus. Mr. Speaker, the environment has greatly benefited from the use of the electric buses. Research conducted by RMI indicates that during the first 8 months of operation, the government saved the same amount of fuel that is consumed in 2 8-hour transatlantic flights. The reduced emissions to the environment just by operating the 30 electric buses are, as opposed to the diesel buses, equates to removing 480 internal combustion engine passenger cars from Bermuda roads. In the past 9 months, 45% less carbon emissions have entered the local environment due to the change, an estimated reduction of 450 tons in the first year. Mr. Speaker, the diesel buses were designed specifically for the Bermuda market and have historically cost the government $334,000 per bus. That's the old buses, combustible ones. The new electric buses procured from the Golden Dragon Bus Company is a production vehicle, allowing for significant cost savings. With customs features, one Golden Dragon electric bus costs $132,000 landed, compared to $334,000 the previous buses, savings of 60%, less than business as usual. Apart from the obvious savings in the purchase of vehicles, considering the operating and maintenance costs, the total cost of ownership for the government is 48% lower than the diesel buses. The 30 electric buses will save the government $10.6 million over the bus's 12-year lifespan. Mr. Speaker, additional savings are anticipated when the new 60 bus charging facility is commissioned at the Fort Langton Depot later this year. Currently, 4 electric bus charging stations with dual connections are installed at the Department of Public Transportation Dockyard Depot, plus 4 at St. George's Depot and 2 at the Fort Langton headquarters. You may have observed, Mr. Speaker, that the headquarters are under construction in tandem with the Balco trenching along Palmetto Road. The government, thanks to Balco, the government has taken the opportunity to optimize efficiencies by connecting with the Balco substation at Fork Lane, providing the department with a tremendous boost in secure underground access to the electric transmission network. The purpose of the trenching on site is the 30 additional dual charging stations that will be installed. powering 60 electric bus charging bays, the installation of the new solar PV system on the roof of the bus garage, and the use of programmable charging management software will make way for an efficient charging strategy which will affect even more energy cost savings. Mr. Speaker, the new buses are sufficiently smaller and more appropriately sized for Bermuda roads. In December 2022, the public was canvassed by way of an online survey on forum.gov.bm to capture the response to the new vehicles. The survey resulted indicating that 80% of respondents approved of the new electric buses and electrification program. Comments and feedback from the survey has been considered by DPT to inform improvements for the next order of electric buses. Mr. Speaker, the staff are continually develop for the transition to a complete electric fleet of buses. A full complement of DPT mechanics have completed electric vehicle maintenance training in the United Kingdom to the Institute of Major Industry, Level 3 and Level 4 standard with continuing technical support from the electric bus manufacturer. Mr. Speaker, at the onset of this initiative, our team focused on three main objectives: to decrease air pollution, to reduce costs, and to improve the sustainability of the buses for Bermuda's narrow road. The advancements recorded today due to the introduction of the new public electric buses have exceeded our expectation. The government will forge ahead to convert the entire fleet of public buses to electric buses to maximize the achievements shared today. By retiring 100 diesel buses, we will remove the equivalent of 1,600 internal combustion engine cars off Bermuda's road, avoiding harmful roadside emissions. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Transport recently confirmed a second order: 40 electric buses with Zeeman, a Golden Dragon bus company, as part of the government's commitment to replenish the aged public bus fleets and convert it to 100% electric. Based on experience with the survey conducted, the new buses are the same model electric buses. However, they will have 40% larger battery capacity, which increases the operating range from 180 kilometers to 250 kilometers per charge. This allows the buses to stay operational longer during the service times. Hence, there is less requirements for recharging. Additionally, one of the main concerns noted with the public survey was the lack of buttons to alert the bus operator to make a stop. We will therefore double the number of electric buttons from 4 to 8 in the capacity to ensure the passengers are able to comfortably access the alert button while traveling on the buses. Mr. Speaker, an internal survey conducted for staff identified a lower turning radius which would improve the navigation component of the buses. DPT management is working with the manufacturers to determine how best to improve this feature. It's also important to note it is intended for an inspection team, which will include DPT staff members, to travel to China to ensure the buses and all relevant changes are being implemented as agreed prior to completion of the production. Mr. Speaker, the first order of buses was completed when China was continuing to have challenges with COVID numbers, and as a result, an inspection team was hired to conduct the first checks before shipping the buses to Bermuda. As the concerns of COVID subside, the DPT team are eager to make arrangements with Zyman to visit the plant and inspect the new electric buses before they ship. Mr. Speaker, with the arrival of 40 new buses this summer, starting in July, Bermuda will have a total complement of 70 electric buses, achieving 70% fleet conversion. This will facilitate retirement of the aged diesel buses, improving performance and reliability of the public buses. Mr. Speaker, Bermuda is leading the way for other island nations to take charge of the environmental health of their countries. By charting and staying on course, the world will justifiably identify Bermuda as a change agent for sustainable, self-sufficient, and responsible living. I'd like to thank the teams of the Department of Public Transportation, Rocky Mountain Institute, and the Golden Dragon Bus Company. I would like to also thank the former Minister of Transport, the Honorable Lawrence Scott, for pushing this initiative. Thank you very much.